Welcome to the final BCU Mentor Training Support topic of the academic year. At this point, we're looking to ensure that trainees nearing the end of their course are able to discuss with their mentors how future professional development might take place. To this end, we've created a short presentation to offer mentor discussions across the partnership in order that you are prepared to guide your trainee across their future careers, progressing through their early career teaching stage. In this presentation, we'll be looking at a range of issues to develop your own approach to supporting our trainees and perhaps even offering some insight into your own professional development. There are a range of information points on this presentation. However, we will spend more time discussing potential approaches, and at points you may wish to pause the recording for further scrutiny of the content. The key areas this presentation focuses on are around the following questions. What types of knowledge acquisition does the CPD support? Is the principal focus on individual or collective development? To what extent is the CPD used as a form of accountability? What capacity does the CPD allow for supporting professional autonomy? And is the fundamental purpose of the CPD to provide a means of transmission or to facilitate transformative practice? We will be referring to three separate forms of information in this presentation. The first focuses on the Education Endowment Foundation's report on effective professional development, where we will outline the recommendations made in setting up the ideal environment for CPD to have a positive impact on all teachers. This will aid your discussions with the trainees, but also offer insight into your own organisation's approaches to CPD, and might offer ideas of how you yourself can ensure your own CPD has a positive impact on your own development. The second piece of information we'll be referring to comes from Eileen Kennedy's models of CPD. At this point, we will simply move through the differing types of CPD, illustrating the benefit and suggested approaches for each type of approach that might be available. This is a point at which you might pause the recording where required, as we will not narrate these approaches in order to save time for those of you who have limited time available. The final element of this presentation comes from the Society of Education and Training's own suggestions for CPD, and again, these are intended to support both your discussions with the trainees, offering prompts for potential activities they might move on to following their course, while also offering you a series of ideas for your own professional development. It is intended that you view this recording and then join one of the many mentor discussion activities we have set up to share your ideas and suggestions and to gain insight into the vast range of experience our partnership is able to share with you. As ever, your continued support is gratefully welcomed, and if you do have any further questions or suggestions, please do not hesitate to contact the course team at any time. First, we'll look at the EEF's recommendations for creating suitable CPD opportunities. So first, they recommend that when designing and selecting professional development, focus on the mechanisms. Examples that the EEF report suggests are revisiting prior learning, goal setting, providing feedback, and action planning. The focus of CPD, they suggest, is that it should come from a strong evidence base to ensure that any activity has the greatest opportunity for positive impact on both the teachers and their students. Point 2 is to ensure that professional development effectively builds knowledge, motivates staff, develops teaching techniques, and embeds practice. So CPD, the EEF suggests, should focus on these specific areas for effective development. And finally, the EEF suggests that you implement professional development programs with care, taking into consideration the context and the needs of the school. This focuses on the needs to adapt the professional development to the needs of the individual and the students and the organisation itself. Remember that all CPD needs to be adapted to consider who is receiving the support, where this is taking place, and the most appropriate time and manner in which to ensure that such training can be used effectively. We now move on to Eileen Kennedy's article laying down the various models used in creating and offering professional development opportunities. You'll be familiar with many of these approaches, however this is intended to allow your reflection on the type of CPD you have experienced for your own development and that which is most commonly offered within your organisation. No individual model is better or worse, but rather should be selected because it is the most appropriate for the needs of the learning or development to take place, and importantly, for it to have the greatest positive impact on development. The focus of CPD should always allow teachers to be able to articulate their own conceptions of teaching and learning, and therefore Kennedy suggests that it is not just the type of professional learning that is important, but also the manner in which it is received that has the greatest impact. This article sets out to answer the following questions. What type of CPD is available? What benefits might our trainees receive from different types of CPD? What areas should they be focusing on? And what counts as CPD? The last question is also supported by our final section offering suggestions from the Society of Education and Training. Kennedy suggests there are three broad types of CPD into which different models might fit, dependent on the approach taken and the intended outcome of the development. These are transmission, transitional and transformative approaches. As you'll see, there are a number of models suggested, and you'll be familiar with most, if not all of them, across your career. At this point, we'll fly through the different groupings and offer suggestions for the type of CPD that might take place at the end of each section. Each model holds a different additional detail, however these will simply be presented on the screen without narrative, and at these points you may wish to pause to find out more. Let us start with transmission models. We'll now focus on transitional models of CPD. And finally, transformative models of CPD. Again, take time to consider the following questions when it comes to suggesting CPD activities for your trainee or for your own development. The last section is taken from the Society for Education's own list of suggestions for professional development. Some of these suggestions will not just be useful to your own trainees, but might also spark ideas for your own development. Take a look through the next couple of pages to identify potential suggestions for you and your trainee. The first list focuses on updating teaching and learning skills. And the second list focuses on updating subject or vocational specialisms. Thank you for taking the time to view this presentation. We look forward to discussing further opportunities and ideas for CPD in our mentor conversation meetings, and we hope to see you there. I hope this has been helpful. Take care, and we'll see you soon.